sonatas are just so remarkably haunting and just heartbreaking and beautiful at the same time, but also powerful. And like I feel like you really want to grab onto that to express all of these things that are in between tonalities. And so I want to ask you, what's grabbing you? Like, what do you want to talk and share from this movement? Passion. Yeah. So, like, the amazing thing about this particular movement is that he goes between major, minor all the time, but the way he gets to it is so elusive and so concealed in ways that is not always revealed in like I don't know what you're trying to say, basically. Like when you're talking with people, sometimes it's like, oh, did you mean by this? Did you mean by this? And I feel the essence of the piece itself is that journey. And I felt like you have that, like just beautiful pedaling, just listening to all the tones and beautifully. Maybe in a way that I feel like you're really grab onto every single note of every change. And I wonder if maybe this is just my personal thought, that you can maybe walk away from a little bit a distance of it, because when we're hearing these I think until we hear how each one is affecting different colors and inside of the heart, right? It's like I can't decide what I want, and that in itself can be maybe more in the relationship of your tones, and I think like a lot of more musical things and technical things are all very connected. So maybe some of it you work so hard to voice it so well. So in some way, there are things that maybe you can use more legato to sing more with them. And I think only way for us to not see individual trees is to step back and be able to see a little bit of the forest. So like I love the intensity, I love everything. Maybe we can start and talk about a few things in terms of colors and how that's changing in the first theme and the second theme. So how does this one start? We start with, right? And then the way he's arriving to is, so it's basically similar to Beethoven. Everything is about scales, going and coming in, going and coming and going. So maybe just having that sort of connection, interconnection between the themes and how it's coming from different places might be helpful to think about it. But just great job. Wow, great job, great job. So let's think about the relationship. Like I love the vertical things. Can you think about bam, ta? And before you play E, think about E, F, and then F sharp, and then G. So keep listening before you get there, not when you land on the bottom of the key. Can we try one more time? just thinking about the next thing. Like it's not that we are like working up to have the intensity rise. It's just our expectation that, oh, once I have this rhythmic assertion with this tone and then go to the next one, what is after that? And instead of deciding what it's going to be, waiting for that to be something that we don't know what it is, and you're encountering but only through your ears, and keep listening for it. So to me, that really helps. And then as you're doing that, here is the one that I would personally, as you get here, I feel like your intensity goes to mostly to the left hand. Can you think of this one as completely, how do I say, lyrical? Much more lyrical in ways that when the singers go really up high pitch levels, they can't really do a lot of original vowel sound or consonances, so they have to modify, right? So in a way, as you're going da da dee da 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 dee da da, really, even if it's far, right, we can't even sing that. But if you're willing to try to hear that dee da da ram da, and come with it all the way from that to that. Can we try from here? So it has a lot more shape as it is. I don't mean that you reduce the intensity, that it's actually allowing this to shine, because you're going to give that vertical sort of a conductor sense of virtue of the beat, just like you did bam here. But if you can have that lyricism on top of it, that would be something more complex than just one or the other. Can we try one more time and then move on? And still, even like I know that you're really thinking about. So when you're hearing, not right. So the stakes of that sense is even further as you go up. So just really not so rhythmically, but more with the pitch level, the relationships, how it expands. If you can really hang on to it. One more time. So here, can we think about different things? Oh, you don't have to get up. You don't have to get up. So here, like it. Right? So he's doing with all kinds of scale levels. But now listen to this. And then ta. So he's. Expecting basically arrival of C minor, but that's the surprise where we get, right? So in a way that I think if you are thinking about as you play, instead of now the interval second relationships, can you think about ta, ta, that more than this? This is just a way to get to that point, right? And then think about how that relationship changes expectation of that to that, right? We can start from there. Beautiful. So same thing, like you have a little bit further to think about before you play, right? Because so what I was talking about at the beginning is that you have such great appetite and longing to hear all of the sound, but now I think it's time to like have them related even more, but many different ways. So now you're hearing this fall, right? But when you're can you think about this a little bit more in a singing way? Not right, but we're leaning into this a little bit more of that, and then once you get here, can you remember that? Not just coming from maybe somewhere. So does it feel a little bit more connected with the phrasing? So to me, I think that has more flexibility, and that you can enjoy the different voicings within that character of phrase, longer phrases. So you can think about this one, how that's different from this one, how that starts to go and be surprised with that. And then here, it's so interesting how, like, all of a sudden we feel we don't know where the beat is, right? It's confusing, and especially through this small transitional passage. So I think if you don't see this one all the details, if you can think about ti da 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 ta da da, much longer. If we can try that. So even if you do do everything, I know what you're doing is beautiful. With that, like do the what is it? Laundry pin? Is that called laundry pin? Is that right? The things that we hold the laundries in the laundry line. Okay, everybody, we're in a washer dryer generation, I guess. But it's laundry pin, right? Yeah. I need you to think about laundry pins of where things are, and then it's hanging, and then it goes to the next one, and then there is ta-da-da. So don't be in a hurry to satisfy this metric sense of rhythm, but it's the longer one. So can we start from somewhere? D, or maybe we can just start, yeah. So I think you be careful not to go too far away from it, because even if you encounter that all of a sudden beautiful, like the flat two, right? Beautiful tone of the D flat major, we have to go back to this one, right? And then as the end of that whole process. So you can't just walk away from the dynamics too far. So just allow that voicing to be there for you to end there, right? Maybe start from this one, Similarly, just be careful not to go too soft on the long tone, and then we get louder too quickly just because of the acoustics itself. But ti-ra, it's ta-ra-ra-ra. Can you hear this one, the same thing? This one, right? Now it's outer word, right? So when you finish this one, I think right hand goes immediately. Can you allow the bum 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 left hand to pave the way? Because I think we all of a sudden the movement takes over, and I think it can happen a little bit more precisely. So can you try somewhere before, or is this okay? So in ways that I think a lot of the change as we're listening to we don't know if that's until we get there, right? But when we're hearing, we don't know from the left hand, but as we are hearing this, we're hearing it happened at the same time. So instead of insisting on this one, if you allow us to hear it naturally. Let's go ahead one more time from this. to remember is being lyrical about these, all of these, ta da da dee dum, dee da 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 dum, all of these things. And then when you get here, oh, sometimes I explore different voicings. Sometimes. Because sometimes it sounds like an echo too. So that's just a way to think about, especially when you're repeating, like the whole movement, the exposition. So that's something you can think about, different tones. And then when you get here, can you make sure that you really have a sense of staying with the chord? Because now we are expecting so I guess I would love you to hear the rest before you start. Maybe from here. One more thing. Think about this one as not a separate one, but it's an extension. Oh yeah, I'm going. Oh yeah, goodbye. Okay, I'll see you later. Oh, but make sure you remember this. Okay, I'll see you again. So it's a way of tailing off. So make sure that this doesn't sound completely different from this, but it's the furthering and furthering and furthering away. It's in a poetic sense. It's just an echoing the same thing. So one more time. I think more sound, right? A little bit more we had. So we have more sound, right? More sound. And does it make sense? I'm asking you to hear that silence before you start. Right. To me, that was better, a little bit more connected. And then this is starting to actually do the diminuendo as a long phrase. How much time? Time is okay? Okay, can we start from here? Maybe we can just start from here. So it's so tempting to go one and then another one, but can you really walk us through this transition of key change? Because we don't know where we're going, and you're leading us into arrival to that far, not in between, okay? Awesome. And then from here is the one that now we are here on D land. So think about how not so separate, but can you find a way to differently connect? So it could be just simple sort of finger legato practice, but listening to the sound, because it's very different doing that. And also not using the same kind of tone. Can we try it? Just the left hand? I think sometimes the fingers are not doing the same thing. So the mechanics of the piano is the same. We feel a little bit different sometimes going in and out. So we sometimes forget that just because we feel differently about this, that changes the mechanics of the piano. But they have the same strings, same hammers, right? So it's sometimes if you want to explore different sound, I think you can stay the same way without sometimes see how it sometimes doesn't speak. So start from the actual tone, right? The way you're just feeling, yeah. Allow that to drop, right? One more time. Yeah, a lot. So whenever you give, so it almost feels like you're practicing sort of touching your fingers on the key more than doing the wrist, right? So that it's almost like you're doing this to get, so it's not just going from here to here, but it's going there. And then you have to go there. Can we try? Can you try right let's try one thing. Can you try? So play the same thing on the left hand and play the octave. But give that sensation of what you were doing with this one. And see how that feels. So that way you have so much more colors behind it that right now, yes, absolutely, you have to let go of the keys to be able to control it, but sometimes we're losing that little more connection to it. So it's just a like listening exercise when you want to do that kind of octave, wanting to be much more lyrical, then you use the other hand to emulate that kind of legato and connection to the sonorities. So yeah, explore that. To me, that's really intimate, but and then at the same time, effortless. And then I think everything. So basically, everything is very similar to that. But maybe do we have time?
Probably just move on.
Move on? Okay. Yeah. Maybe we can try that into the ending. Can we try from this one? Beautiful. You already made much more shapes. Yep. Awesome. Thank you.